So I think like 2 or 3 days ago, I made a video on TOKE MAKINWA, the one I called TOKE MAKINWA's Miracle Pregnancy. And yes, the news is everywhere. She came out, she said, "Oh man, I'm pregnant. I'm so happy, grateful to God. This is something I've been looking forward to." And I began that video by saying that, by quoting Freddie Nietzsche's quote where he said that a woman is a riddle and her solution is a child. Now, a lot of people now are beginning to bring up, statements to say, I'll show you 2 videos, and these videos are in response to the TOKE MAKINWA that everybody has always known, the woman who has had the feminist energy. I don't know, this feminism, I understand the concept of feminism. So sometimes when I say feminism, I think I hate to associate it with the new wave of feminism, because I understand feminism very deep, and I know that feminism was originated for a much more worthy cause, not what it is propagating today. And so TOKE MAKINWA has been that person who has been talking about, you don't need a man, this, that. The videos are everywhere. And then suddenly now, she's showing us how much she's grateful for having a baby. It's a good thing, The greatest pleasure of all time, like I said, Will Durant said, is a baby, is a child. Children are the sweetest pleasure. And so it is not the achievements and all of the things that we have. TOKE MAKINWA has achieved a lot. She has made way for herself, written books, had successful podcasts, and then she's a great model, successful, wonderful OAP. And then, but yeah, you see, expression regarding the pregnancy is unquantifiable compared to all of the achievements she's had. And so it goes to show you that the pregnancy is a very, very big deal for her. And so we have these 2 folks who haven't seen how TOKE MAKINWA has reacted to her pregnancy. They are surprised that this is somebody, this is TOKE MAKINWA that we all know, and then the TOKE MAKINWA that we know does not care or never really cared about child, marriage, all of these things. And then now she's all about, me, I'm so happy, I'm excited about my pregnancy and all. So I'll play you this video so that you can see, you can hear from these guys and their sarcastic responses, and then you see for yourself. So the first video is from this dude here called RADIOGAD. I think it's more, maybe he's a radio personal OAP. I'll need to look him up. I'll need to look him up to see who he really is, and yeah, he just like TOKE MAKINWA, I pour you spit. You need to listen to it, and hear what he said.
TOKE MAKINWA, I pour you spit for face. Poor! Now, woman, you be feminist. Don't let her carry belle. As I see the news, I no believe am. I say make I wait a few days. Make I know whether this pregnancy where you carry dey real or whether na balloon you put for your belly. But I have confirmed that you are truly pregnant. I don't ask some people wey dey around you, they talk say true, you get belle. TOKE MAKINWA, after telling other women to stay away from men, you let her carry belle for this life. Any woman wey you see wey come out, they talk say she be feminist. Na lack of prick, they worry her. She dey lack vitamin D. So to get belle, they hungry you since. Na because say you see person wey give you belle, you come out, they condemn men. The same thing with Blessong CSO, where they condemn men. As IVB enter her life, she can't fall in love. So TOKE MAKINWA, na man we go give you the fine sense, see, you can't condemn men. Now where you don't enjoy better, you don't even get the guts to post your man on social media because you dey fear make other women no collect am. You dey enjoy man now, but when I go come on social media, they deceive little girls. They tell them say, men do this one, men do that one. You don't need a man, go and get a deal. But now the same men wey they condemn give you belle. See as you carry belle like GP tank, TOKE MAKINWA. So you dey enjoy abi? As a girl for this life, get yourself a man. Man, they very important. Get yourself a man, we go dey hammer your toe. Get yourself a man, we go dey pound your toe like pounded yam. It is very important. A lot of these ladies who they see where they come out, they condemn men. Now because they don't see their brain is lacking vitamin D.
So that's it from RADIOGAD. It's very raw. Damn, so raw, so raw, so raw. And you see how he made the reference to say that she one time, was still bold feminist, condemning men, talking about how women don't need men. And then you see, he has also advised a lot of women. And I think it's the takeaway from this particular video that you should not pay attention to most of the advices you pick on social media. Most of the people that actually advise you are as a result of their own secret problems and predicaments, and most of the things that have happened to them before. And so they throw the bitterness out there and trying to influence you, who is innocent of all of these things. And then if you fall for their advices, at the end of the day, become a victim of something that wouldn't have concerned you if you had just stayed in your lane and had a mind of your own enough to follow through what makes sense to you, not what some celebrity figure propagates. And so it's true, a lot of, we have, like, I don't know, especially on Facebook, is flooded with bittered ladies, and the way they condemn, the way they condemn men, you would wonder why and what exactly is the root. Then later on again, you find that there's a switch all of a sudden, especially when they get a man, and then you begin to wonder, is it because they actually did not have a man before, which has always been the summation and the conclusion of people like RADIOGAD to say, oh, it's because he didn't have a man before, now she has a man, and then now what happened? Listen, CEO is another example. Back then she said different kind of things, condemn men here and there, and then now with IVD in the picture, she talks about, she flaunts him everywhere. In fact, she's preaching the direct opposite of what she said after misleading thousands of women. And so if you come to the internet with an impressionable mind, you'll be easily misled. I hope that we learn to have a mind of our own, and it's not just the men, it's not just the women, also with men. I think that men get less swayed by these things. We have people like Gege online. Gege still talks about don't do this, but we still have men offline that, yes, I have to spoil my woman with money. Women, you have to give them something, and this is just because Gege preaches online doesn't mean that men are gonna stop spoiling women with money, you get. And so although men have become more sensible, and men don't just flaunt the money carelessly and aimlessly like before, they are cautious, and then they are more sensitized now. But still, it still doesn't mean that it is everything, hook, line, sinker that men take. And so a lot of women have, fallen under this misfortune as a result of, some advices they've picked from these so-called people online, figures and influencers. She's 40 years old and she's jubilating having a baby, meaning she has always wanted a baby. I think I came across a video that where she was like 6 years ago, she had been praying for this baby. But then 6 years ago, you've been praying for the baby, but you've been saying something opposite outside there. And so, this goes a long way to just tell us how much, people can be the shadow of themselves outside. And so I'll play the second video for you so you hear.
Wow. Congrats to our sister, TOKE MAKINWA. Wow, I can't believe this news that our sister, TOKE, she's expecting a baby. How? TOKE that used to preach against baby, husband, home, man. How did she get Chorieni? I don't understand. Auntie TOKE, but you used to preach to our sisters, our children, that no, this is how life should be. That's what you used to preach. That no, baby is nothing, this is nothing, this is nothing. How come? How did you now end up having a baby? My sister, I hope you will now go back to that same social media to start preaching that motherhood is good. You have to, now that you are living against your dreams or against what you preach, is that you have to come back to social media to let our children know that what you are saying before, now no be the correct thing. It's so strange. Last video I wanted to see that I believe I will see is you pregnant. How? TOKE MAKINWA pregnant? Is that possible? TOKE MAKINWA that used to preach against all this pregnancy, marriage, man, this It be like say social media no dey real. It be like say social media na fake media. Social media can't be like this house behind me, the house upside down. That means we don't practice what we preach on social media. What we say on social media is different from the lifestyle. Anyway, congrats to TOKE MAKINWA, and I pray your baby should be a girl, so one of my grandsons can marry her. God bless you. Emma Rureo, Emma Soreo. Congrats, eh? You where they believe everything on social media where people talk. You see? You better go recharge your brain, or else you go be like this house behind me, the house upside down.
So right there, that's food for thought. It's just the same thing like RADIOGAD, and then they are saying that the one-time feminist or acclaimed feminist, yes, she is now, and she's basking in the joy of, an imminent or impending motherhood. And so, you see, everything you see online, it's more like they say, figment of imagination, or everything you see online is just make people just point out what they feel like, but what they practice in reality is oftentimes very, very different. As it's up to you to just, just look at the internet, just don't take it too serious. A lot of people have been ruined by these such advices that they've taken from not just feminism, even from maybe so-called certain alpha males or masculinists that have taken their suit to the extreme. There should be a balance, and a lot of people do not strike balance. They're like, man, if they get hot over something, they're like, to hell with everything here. And then at the end of the day, you always have people who will follow you, no matter how. The internet is the last place, and you always have audience. You always have people who would like, no, he's making sense, she's making sense, and they follow up, and it ends up ruining them. And so from RADIOGAD, you had it. From here, Isaac Fayose too, you had it. I think Solomon Buchi also had his own to say. Let me check it out. So you see, he had his own to say. Now, but his own was different though. I think his was different. And here he said that he's a proclaimed Christian, and so he was speaking from a Christian angle, of which some people kind of attacked him. But I think that what he's saying is true, because I like to look at things within context. When you look at things within context, you can understand. And Solomon Buchi was teaching or was talking within the Christian context, and then considering TOKE MAKINWA talking about pregnancy outside of wedlock that is not Christian like. And so for him, he's giving his own take, his own social commentary on it. He's happy that she's pregnant. Yes, he wishes her safe delivery, but still, we have to call a spade a spade. If you say you're a Christian, then we shouldn't exalt worldly things. And it is very funny for me that Solomon Buchi is pointing out the very obvious, and then it is still so-called Christians that are coming out to actually say, why would you say such? Like for example, when you go online, you see there are a certain group of guys who continue to preach that the right way to get married should be you get married to a virgin, right? And they talk about these things, they emphasize on these things, which is actually the godly and the Christian way to get married to a virgin. But a lot of so-called Christians again are the one kicking against these same things that are actually Christian-like and biblical. So it kind of makes me wonder, is it that you only practice it when it's favorable or when it goes with the way you live? And then when someone actually speaks the very obvious, like you are not built to swallow the truth. And so just let me just take you through what he says so you check it out for yourself.
I'm happy that TOKE is having a child at almost 40. It seems like it's something she's really desired as a woman, but I have a problem with mixing Jesus and God with it. I was watching a clip from her podcast and she was talking about how she had an agreement with God, or she prayed to God that she really wants to be a mother. As a Jesus girl, a Christian, we need to be very careful with how we mix God with our personal decisions that we've decided to pursue, whether they are godly or not. Now, I'm not saying there is anything ungodly about having a child, but you're having a child outside of wedlock. You are not married. So there is just no need bringing God into that. There is no point trying to spiritualize it. Honestly, you can give your testimony without implicating God's word and his standard. Just say that you really wanted to be a mother and now you're about to be a mother, or maybe you're a mother already. There is no need to infuse God into it, because according to God's standard, the only right way to be a parent is in the premise of marriage. Of course, some people have made mistakes and that's absolutely fine. That does not define their life. But sounding as though you intentionally planned to have a child outside of wedlock and then trying to spiritualize it and bring God into it, I'm actually happy for her, but let's not bring God into it.
So yes, that's it from him, and it's a fact. It's a fact. It's a fact. Whether you like it or not, it's a fact. You may want to say, man, the pregnancy, and you're not supposed to. Let's let it be. You don't have to talk, include yourself in every conversation, but it doesn't matter. He has chosen to include himself in the conversation, and yes, what he said is the truth. It's the very truth. And so, biblically, Christian-like, that's how it is. It's not like I'm a theist, but I'm just, when you speak within a context, I understand you, and yes, I can agree or disagree with you depending on where you stand. And in this context, and it's funny that even people gamble. People would gamble, make money from gambling, and say God gave it to them. But then there's no religion that supports gambling, and then you say it was God that made you win. Where is the sense in that? It doesn't make sense. And then tomorrow when you lose, who would you blame? Would you still blame God for letting you down when you are gambling? And so these are things we need to at least look and be honest enough with ourselves, even though we feel uncomfortable with it. That is what truth is about, to pinch us, and prickle us back to the truth and back to reality, and snap us back to it, so that we can see these things for what they really are, not for what we want them to really look like. And so that's it from TOKE MAKINWA's pregnancy review. And here's the different takes from three men: RADIOGAD, Isaac Fayose, and Solomon Buchi, giving their takes as they see it. So yeah, what's your own take? Let me hear it in the comment section. I'll be right there observing to hear what it is you have to say. That's it from me to you. Peace out.